John Campea, Tovok the Barbarian, and others have suggested that if you're politicizing certain things in entertainment, like Dungeons and Dragons or other forms where they sort of put certain political issues into it, that it's only that you don't like it because it's not your politics. I think this is not entirely accurate for a few reasons. And I think Brandon Sanderson actually had a very insightful way of saying it. His criticism of Andor, even though he said the show was really good, but he didn't personally care for it, was he did not want to think about the janitors on the Death Star. When you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, often you're put into a situation where the DM may give you some choices, but usually it's implied, hey, these things are causing a problem, go deal with it. Could be undead, could be other humans, could be monsters, could be other creature, could be various even playable creatures that chalk it up to being human, even if they're elf or whatever. And so, if you ask certain questions, the people who want to enjoy the show, if you ask them the right questions, the show might not get the answer it was looking for. And so, sometimes it's best not to ask those questions to enjoy the show. I'll give you an example. John Wick. Do you really think it's a good idea to have John Wick ask too many moral questions, considering he wiped out an entire... How many people did he kill over the dog in the first movie? And the fact is, even in the other movies, he ain't wiping these enemies out because they're bad people. He's wiping them out because he feels betrayed and they're trying to kill him. He is not really a good guy. So asking too many moral questions within the context of the story would probably distract from it. You're accepting that you're watching an anti-hero who's not a good person. And so, when you say keep politics out of it, if you ask too many questions within the context of this issue, you ain't gonna like the answers. When you go to play Dungeons and Dragons, depending on who's at the table with you, it's sort of given that when you're given a mission by the DM, you're supposed to go along with it and not ask too many questions, unless you know that your DM tends to be a little bit more story-oriented as opposed to dungeon crawl and relatively simplistic. Also, the players at the table might be closer to John Wick than Captain America.